Happy Monday, everybody. I hope you got outside enjoying the nice weather today. This is what I was wearing outside today. I had my overalls on, my hat on from when I was in high school, my first job working on an apple orchard. And hopefully you got outside today. I was in my garden doing that. But today in math, we are going to be doing some more area. And so on our second to last day of area work. And it should go really fast. It's gonna be a quick lesson. So try to keep up with me, and I'm using screen sharing to show you my work on my document. So go to Google Docs right now, sorry, Google Classroom, open up your classwork page, and load up today's lesson, which is Measurement Lesson 9, Finding Area with Different Units. And let's get started. All right, we see our problem solving task here. Not a lot of writing to get through. We're gonna get started right away. It says, Tina bought the apartment below for her dollhouse. It says we had our carpet here, and the question is pretty simple. What is the area of the carpet? So take some time right now, stop the video, try to solve the problem. Go. All right, so if you remember from before, when we're finding area, all we need to do is multiply length times width. So some of you might have gone ahead and just multiplied 21 times 7, because that's our length and our width of the shape. 21 times 7, if you did that, 2 times 7 is 1, well, 20 times 7 is 140, 1 times 7 is 7, so 147 would be what you've got. And if you try to do this, you say your answer is 147, so Tina's carpet is 147, what is your unit you're using? Square, you know its area, so it's square what? In this case, I have millimeters and centimeters. So what's the area in? Neither. You cannot multiply 21 millimeters times 7 centimeters. They're not the same type of unit. Before you do anything with different units, whether you're talking about inches and feet, miles and kilometers, whatever unit you have, before you do anything with it, you need to make sure they're the same type of units. So we cannot solve it that way. If you got 147, you'd be right if those were the same units, but they're not. So we're going to take some time right now. Look at this. What do we need to do to solve this question? We've got 7 centimeters, 21 millimeters. So there's two ways to do it. It says, what is the area of the carpet? And they can both be correct. It doesn't tell you what kind of units you need to use. So in this case, I could do centimeters or millimeters. So I'm going to show the work for both possibilities. Let's say I'm going to write the area in centimeters. So the first thing I need to do is turn 21 millimeters equals how many, a blank there, centimeters. And this goes back to using your conversion sheets, and I'm going to have a link to conversion charts in the YouTube video description below, so check that out if you need it. 21 millimeters centimeters. I'm going from a small unit to a bigger unit, so I'm making groups, which means I need to divide. And millimeters centimeters, if you look at your conversion chart, millimeters centimeters is dividing by 10. There's 10 millimeters in 1 centimeter, so I need to divide by 10. So that all means I need to move the decimal one place over. The decimal's here, goes one place over. It's now there. So it equals 2 1/10 centimeters. So then what I would need to do is just multiply length 7 times width. So area equals 7 times 2 1/10. And if I solve that out, it's going to be 14 7/10. And the unit is going to be square centimeters. So that's one possible correct way to do it. Let's try the other possible correct answer. So that is correct. Or you could do the centimeters and turn them into millimeters first. Again, all that matters is we have the same unit in this case because it doesn't tell us which we need to have. So 7 centimeters equals how many millimeters? You can look back to our old videos on unit conversions. You can also use the unit conversion charts below in the video description. But I know that centimeters to millimeters is going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, so I'm taking it and putting it into smaller pieces, which means I need to multiply it. So in this case, I need to multiply by 10. So 7 times 10 is 70 millimeters. 7 centimeters is 70 millimeters. So all I need to get the area in this case would be 70 times 21. All I know is that it's 10 times bigger, so it's going to be 1,470 square millimeters. You'll see the number is pretty similar to the one we had in the incorrect answer at first, but the size of it is obviously very different because of powers of 10 and the metric system. That's our first step in a problem-solving task. So then you should be able to have an idea of what we're going for here and look at answer part B in the problem-solving task and try this on your own first. It says John bought a blanket that was 7 feet long and 4 feet wide. How many square inches is his blanket? Go for it. All right, so we know that he's a blanket. It's 7 feet long and 4 feet wide. If I'm solving this, I'm probably going to draw a little picture of it here. And to do that, I need to escape to get this. Insert a drawing on here. And go to New. Choose my shape. And I can choose a rectangle really quickly. And then choose my text box to make a shape. This is going to be 7 feet. And the other side is 4 feet. That's my rectangle, save and close. Great. How many square inches is his blanket? So the first option, most of you probably did, is it's 7 times 4. 7 feet times 4 feet equals 28 feet. And then, so 7 times 4 would be 28 feet, but then you need to convert that to inches. So you might have done 28 feet times 12. Because there's 12 inches in each foot. And we're going from a bigger unit to a smaller unit, so we need to multiply. And if you do that, I'm going to quickly solve that out myself. If you did 28 times 12, you got 336 square inches. You know what, and that's not a bad way of thinking of it, about doing it, but there's something that's a little different about area that we need to know with our unit conversions. So 336 would be correct if 1 square foot was 12 square inches. But I'm going to draw you a picture to show why this answer doesn't work. If I insert a square foot, I'm going to make a table. It's going to be 12 inches by 12 inches. This is 1 foot, 12 inches across on the top, and 1 foot this way, 12 inches down there. How many square inches are in 1 square foot? Again, this is just imagining like a rectangle that is 1 square foot. So that rectangle could be 1 foot and 1 foot, but then broken into inches. How many inches are in here? Well, 1 inch, 1 inch. If I count all these up, it's actually 1 square foot is actually 144 square inches. And that has to do with the fact that a square is made up, is 2-dimensional instead of 1-dimensional. So 1 square foot is 144 square inches. So you could do your old answer of 28 square feet, 28 square feet times 12 equals 336 square inches. But that wouldn't work because there's 144 square inches in a square foot. That's a complicated way to think about it. Instead, I'm going to delete all this information and just tell you, oops, you can avoid all that struggle by just converting the feet to inches before you solve the problem for area. So when you have units and you know you need to convert them to inches, so I know I need to turn to inches, don't do anything until you've turned them to inches. So I'm going to change my drawing and turn it inches. So I'm going to basically edit my drawing. So 7 feet is actually equal to, so 7 times 12 equals, if you don't know it, you can solve it out yourself, but I know it on my head, it's 84 inches. And that's 7 times 12. And 4 feet, 4 times 12, 48 inches. So now, instead of turning square feet to square inches, I can just find the area of 84 inches times 48 inches. So that's what I'm going to do. It's a better, faster way to solve the problem. 84 inches times 48 inches equals how many square inches? So area is length times width, and that's 84 inches times 48 inches. I'm going to pause this video and find out what that is. All right, so hopefully it didn't take you that long. It took me longer than it should have, but my answer is going to be 4,032 square inches. And remember, the reason that answer is the correct answer is we need to convert before we multiply. We need to convert this to the same unit. Convert units before you find area. That's it. That's how we find area with different units. You need to read the question really carefully to make sure that you know the units need to be changed. That includes reading what the answer is supposed to be in. What unit do you want your answer to be in, and what unit is the question in right now to start? You need to look at both the length and the width and figure out if they're the units that you want to have them to be. If they aren't, you must convert before you solve for area or do whatever you're doing in any problem. You want to have the units you're planning on using in your answer. If you wait too long, there's things that can get lost, or like we saw, if you change square inches by multiplying times 12, it doesn't work. So convert before you do anything else. To solve these problems, you also just need to know how to convert. The conversion charts are in the description below, just a picture of them. I'll link to a picture of them, and I will show them. Actually, I'm not going to show them here. I'm just going to draw them up, take a picture, put them on Google Docs so you can see them. I'll link them to the assignment and in the video. That will help you with your unit conversions. It's all feet and inches and meters, kilometers stuff today. Let's get going with our guided practice, get you finishing your work so you can go outside and enjoy this nice weather. All right, here we are with our guided practice. It says solve to find the area for the following shapes. And that's really all we're doing for all these problems today is just finding area. So give myself some space here. We've got 5 feet, 12 yards. If I solve this and I'm solving for area, I think length times width. But I also see this is 12 yards and that's 5 feet. And that's where my alarm goes off. Ding, 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 ding. In my head, 12 yards, 5 feet, those are not the same units. So the first thing I want to do is I'm going to say area. Area equals, wow, I cannot type today, length times width. In this case, area equals 12 yards times 5 feet. But I can't go any further because I see that 5 feet is not the right unit for the answer. So I have to think which one I want to solve it into. For me, instead of dividing, I'd rather multiply. So I'm going to turn yards into feet. It's just easier for me. So I'm going to turn 12 yards into 5 feet. So I'm going to rewrite the problem. Area. So it's going to be 12 times 12 because there are, sorry, 12 times 3 because there's 3 feet in each yard. So I can do my conversion chart. You can look below to prove that. So 12 times 3 is 36. So it's 36 feet times 5 feet. And that's just easier. Okay, now what I do is multiply to solve. Area, it is going to be in square feet, equals 36 times 5. 30 times 5 would be 150. And then 6 times 5 is 30. So it's 180 square feet. That's it. Saw different units, converted, and I solved and got the answer I needed. If I did it the other way, I would need to do 5 feet divided by 3. I would have a fraction in my answer. It's going to get really complicated. Try to find the easy way whenever possible, friends. Let's go to number 2, so you can solve and check your work. Centimeters and meters. Oh, I need more space for this. Always feel free to move the documents around, move the shapes around a little bit to make sure you have the room you need to solve your problems. All right, so it's an area problem for all of these shapes, so I'm just going to go ahead and write area equals length times width. I know that. And area in this case equals 2,105 times, and that's going to be centimeters times 23 meters. Same unit? I think not. So I need to turn one into the other. Again, often I'll multiply to get the same unit. I could also divide. In this case, I'll just divide because it can work. I'm going to turn centimeters into meters. I'm going from a small unit to a big unit. In this case, there's 100 centimeters in a meter, so I need to divide by 100. It's powers of 10, people. It's so easy. 1, 2, 2 places. So area equals, instead of being 2,105 centimeters, it's 21 and 500ths meters times 23. All right, I got it. We got 484 and 1,500ths, and then my unit, oh, I didn't write meters here. That should be meters too, making sure I'm keeping track of my units, is 484 and 1,500ths square meters. That's it. Again, different units, know what to do. Oh man, we're combining some skills here. We got to do a split area shape. So I'm going to pull this shape out into my drawing tab so I can do that. We got 2 of these to do left. I'm going to copy, go to insert. Oh, I got to click out first. Click out, insert, drawing. Oh no, insert, drawing. No, insert, drawing. Whew. The struggle is real, my friends. Paste down. Here we go. All right, here's our shape. I'm going to split it because I got to split my shape into rectangles. I've got shape A and shape B, and that line is really hard to see. Oh, there it gets better. Okay, I don't need you. A and B. Oh man, Miss Sikorsky made this problem from last year. It is a hard one. I'm going to be totally honest with you guys. There's a lot of information in this piece, so it's going to take us a bit to get through it. Let's go with area A equals length times width, and that's going to be area A equals 4 and 5. Oh, what do you know? They're the same unit already. 2 and 1100ths meters times 4 and 5/10ths meters. Already the same unit. That makes my life so easy. So I don't need to change anything. So I can do area A equals, and just get my answer. I'm solving it out right here. Is 2 and 1100ths times 4 and 5/10ths, 9 and 495,000. This is what I'm saying. This is crazy, Miss Sikorsky. Where do you come up with these numbers? And that's square meters. So that's area A. But area B, we have our work in centimeters. So we got to convert before we multiply. So I'm going to convert these before. So area B is 512 centimeters times 278 centimeters. But we know we have to have square meters. So I'm going to rewrite this before multiplying as meters. So centimeters to meters, I have to divide by 100. That's 2 place values. So it's 1, 2 between the 5 and the 1. So it's 5.12 meters times 2.78 meters. And that's going to take a minute. So pause your screen, try to figure out what that is going to be using your decimal multiplication rules. Do it. I want to reiterate, I did not write this question. Think of the children, Ms. Sikorsky, the numbers you're coming up with. Just checking your work here. multiplying those two numbers together gets a really large product. So it's going to be area B equals, well, large number-wise, 14 isn't that big, but it has 2,336, that's 2,336 10,000ths. And we're not even done yet because you have to get our total area. I promise you there's nothing this hard on your exit ticket. But if you can do this, you can definitely do the exit ticket. We just have to add those two up, so take a second again and add up those two. Make sure you line up your decimals when you're done. There's a very real chance I made a mistake with my work. I did not solve twice. I should have, but it's not a test. So there we go. 23 and 7,286 10,000ths square meters. If you get a question like that on the MCAS, you can come call me and I'll buy you a donut. That's insane. Saving close. I promise the next one will not be as bad. This is just like our problem-solving task. Ted is painting a board that's 3 feet tall and 5 feet wide, so I know it's going to be a rectangle. I'm going to insert my drawing. It's going to be drawing 3 feet and 5 feet. I know I need to find area. Area equals length times width. But my answer, it said, going back to the question, the answer needs to be written in square inches. Will he be painting? How many square inches will he be painting? Just checking. Yep, it needs to be square inches. So I know I can't do the area as I want to. I cannot do 5 times 5 feet times 3 feet, because I need to turn the feet into inches first. So area actually equals 5 times 12, because there's 12 inches in a foot, times 3 times 12, because there's 12 inches in a foot. Just showing a little extra steps there so you know what I'm doing. Area equals 60 times 3 times 12, 36. Big numbers, not as big as Ms. S was making us do before. So 60 times 36, still takes a second to solve that out, is 2,160 square inches. Of course, feet would be easier, but they told us to get it in square inches, and that's what we get. 2,160 square inches. Final answer. Time for you to go to infant practice and wrap this stuff up. Go for it. Well, that's it. That's our lesson today. Finding area is simple, but it's a little bit harder when you have different units to work with. So make sure you're reading carefully, make sure you know what area units you need. And when you're done, go to Edulastic, take that exit ticket so you can get your points and credit for today's assignment. Really looking forward to seeing the work you guys do. This week, I told you already on Friday, I'm looking for all-stars to be choosing intro music to our lessons, and it may include, may not include me doing some dancing as well, depending how I feel about the song that's being suggested. So stay tuned to find out if you are one of my nominated students to be choosing some music for these videos. For now, though, have some fun outside. It's nice weather if you can, but no matter what you're doing, just make sure you're staying safe. Hope your family is well. Take care.